G'day mates, how's it going? Now, Prison School is an anime that came out in 2015, and yeah, I felt like doing a review on it. So without further ado, let's get started. So to start off, I want to talk about the positives, and yeah, the story is definitely one of them. The story starts off with 5 boys enrolling into a school that's just recently gone co-ed, so it's going from an all-girls high school to, just both genders, yeah. Yeah, so they first day in the school, of course, because this is anime, they try peeping on the girls in the shower, they get caught, but the unique thing about this show, and also to this school, is that they have a school prison, so the boys get sent to the school prison for 1 month, and they get looked after by the school wardens, which I'll get to in a sec, which is the Underground Student Council. But yeah, that's in the first episode, and that really just kicks off the show, and just is the main setup of the show. And from then on, it's all about perseverance for the boys. You have elements of trust, betrayal, friendship, forgiveness, all these themes being expressed throughout the show, which normally I wouldn't expect from your average comedy ecchi anime, but they're all here, and they're all expressed through the dynamics between the characters and the story arcs that take place. And speaking of the story arcs, after the first episode, which is just set up pretty much, you have 3 different story arcs. Well, not different, they all go from one to the other, but all 3 different story arcs, which are all really well paced. Sorry for my dog barking outside. But yeah, they're all really well paced. They all have their highs and lows, and each one has a climax. But saying that, because of the climax in the first arc, there's a bit of a whiplash effect. So that when it goes to the climax of the first arc and then just goes down and then back up again for the second arc, you're like, oh, it's starting off really slow again. But it's not. There's actually a lot of interesting things going on between the characters, some cool dynamics between the characters, which I don't want to spoil, because if I spoil the second arc, it ruins the first arc, and spoiling the third arc ruins the second arc, like that. So yeah, but yeah, I'll just let you know, they're all well paced really well. They're paced really well, and the entire story, while it does have an end credit scene that hints towards the season 2, the entire story is wrapped up nicely, and you can see it as a contained story, no loose ends or anything. Yeah, because we'll probably never get a season 2, but yeah, always hoping, But yeah, moving on from that, let's talk about the characters. So the main character is Kiyoshi, and Kiyoshi is the more optimistic character of the bunch. He's always hoping for a way out, or a the good side, the silver lining, so to speak, the good in a bad situation. And yeah, he really just drives the plot forward. Then you have Gakuto. Gakuto is my favorite character in the show. He starts off as a character that really only has his own goals in mind, but then at the end of the show, he's willing to risk it all for his friends. He has the most growth throughout the whole show, so that's what I like about him. He also has some really funny outbursts and just funny moments, so I like that again about him. You have Shingo, Shingo, Andre, and Joe, who are the side characters. Shingo does play a role in the second arc, however, besides from that, there's really nothing too memorable about him. Whereas Andre and Joe, while they have even less of a role in terms of what they contribute to the story. I mean, they do contribute to the story, but they're in terms of just dialogue and screen time and stuff. They have a unique quirk about them, which is their design and a trait about them. So Joe has always got a hood on, and he has an illness where he just coughs up blood, and he just talks very bluntly. He'll say something that's true, but it'll hurt the person, and that's he'll also he's very blunt and to the point in the way he speaks. But because of that, it's something you can really put on Joe, and just memorable about him as a character. And you got Andre, who's design wise, he's this big kind of fat character, but his face is too small for his head. It's weirdly it's exaggerated, of course, but that, as well as him being a massive masochist. So whenever the girls in the Underground Student Council are punishing him, he gets off on that. And there's a whole there's a whole plan around that. There's a whole plot line around that as well. But yeah, there's something memorable about these characters, whereas Shingo just kind of, he doesn't have that much going on for him, besides from his role in the second arc. But yeah, so that's the boys side of things. Let's move on to the girls. So the girls are the Underground Student Council. You have Mari, the Crowmaster, who's the president of the Underground Student Council. She is the strategist of their group, and I mean, because she's the strategist, a lot of her plans take effect through the other two members, Mako and Hana, and so we don't really see her like doing a whole lot. She does have like screen time and everything. However, yeah, just she. I wouldn't say. I think she's overshadowed a bit by Mako, the vice president, and Hana, the secretary. Yeah. So moving on to Mako. Mako is probably the character if you haven't seen the show before, you've probably seen this character as in an image or something. But she's the one on the front of the box behind the boys. She has like an exaggerated design and massive, breast, chest area, short skirt. She wears a too tight uniform, so she has to like have her shirt like unbuttoned in like to the extreme, so it's covering the part that you would expect to see but yeah, like her whole role, her whole character is just in giant exaggeration, so that's played off in jokes and stuff. But yeah, she is if you want to power scale the show, she is the strongest character in the show. I don't know why you would, but yeah. One of her traits about her is she works out a lot. She respects Mari, the president, quite a bit, to the point of being even just fearful of disappointing her. When I talk about working out a lot, there's even a scene of her doing an arm wrestling contest. But yeah, she has, like all the girls in the Underground Student Council, she's hard as nails, same way with Hana, same way with Mari. She's not afraid of, beating it into the boys if they do something wrong, or, what she thinks is wrong and stuff. That's it for, about it for Mako. I mean, she's a fun character to watch, just like Hana, which is coming up now. Hana is a bit psycho. I mean, this is mainly towards her lack of ability to hold back in her beatings, because she knows karate and she's just a bit angry and everything, but yeah, it's mainly the dynamic between her and Kiyoshi, the main character, that is just the funniest throughout the entire show. And yeah, she's just a fun character to watch and just see how she reacts to everything, and to see what she's going to do in as repercussions and stuff. Yeah, so that's all fun to watch. And then you got some minor characters. So you got Chio, which she plays a role. So I don't know if you would call her a minor character or just a side character. But you got Chio, she's good. You got Anzu as well. And then you got the chairman. And the chairman doesn't have a huge amount of screen time. I mean, he's like in most of the episodes and stuff, just for a scene. But he's just, whenever he talks, he's just funny. He just has a funny scene. He has a great monologue, which with Kiyoshi. So that's not really that's not a monologue, but he has a cool like speech with Kiyoshi in the final episodes. And yeah, just overall good character for the chairman and everything. Yeah, he's the went off track there, but yeah, good characters. Next up, let's talk about a bit of the sound design and stuff. Oh no, sorry, the animation. We'll get to the sound a bit later. Animation wise, it's pretty standard. It's good. Wouldn't say it's great, but I want to talk about the art style, because the art style you got the standard art style, but then whenever there's like a moment, like there's a scene where they'll like want to play it off for a particular effect, whether it's comedic or something, or seriousness, they'll like switch the art style. So they'll switch the art style when a character is being like really serious, and then like it'll be like regular and everything, and then just be like I obviously, this is my face, I can't like change my face, but it'll switch the face of the character to this like pencil drawn art style or something, and it's just really unexpected. Like I'm even like reluctant to put an image of what I'm talking about on the screen, because if it is your first time watching the show, I don't want to spoil it. The same way when Gakuto is explaining one of his plans, like if it's a plan to do something, I don't want to explain too much, there'll be this surprise art style they use to explain it, and there's two different art styles. They because one's mainly used for a flashback and one's mainly used for a plan, but it can overlap a bit. But yeah, it's completely unexpected. You won't expect it at all. I'd be surprised if you expected it. But yeah, when I first saw that, I was just amazed. And I loved it as well. Like, it wasn't just like I was amazed and I was just like didn't like it. No, like, this was fantastic. Like, it deserves a point just for that, you know. Next up is the sound design and the audio and voice and everything. In terms of opening and ending themes, I like the opening a lot more because of the rock and / hard rocks that are beginning to it. That's just my personal music taste, so I wish it was a bit more metal. But yeah, apart from that, music and stuff is good. Soundtrack wise, there's only like 2 tracks I really recognize throughout the show. Other than that, all the others sort of just blended in and just didn't notice them. And yeah, finally the English dub, and the English dub is fantastic. I just gotta say, there is something I'm gonna talk about the English dub. You know, you're probably gonna mention it in the comments below. I am gonna get to it. But let me just say, so English dub is fantastic. You know, Austin Tyndall voices Kyoshi, does a fantastic job. You know, Eric Vale voices Gakuto, which if you put the 2 characters' voices, like the voices he uses for the characters side by side, you would not pick them out. Like, I didn't. Even though I looked up on the credits, you know, who voices Gakuto, I could still not imagine Eric Vale playing this character. Like, because I'm used to him voicing Trunks from Dragon Ball Z, so him playing Gakuto with that voice, I didn't put together at all. You know, even when I knew it, I didn't. Yeah. So he did a fantastic job with Gakuto. You have Alexis Tipton who voices Hana. Great job. You know, in the episode commentary. They mention how they have a chart for Hana's like different anger levels and stuff, or what level of like calm or psycho she's at, and so it was really good. And you can actually imagine them doing that because, yeah, there are different scenes where Hana is just at a different level of like state of mind and everything. And so yeah, that was really fun to like know about, and she does do a fantastic role. Next up we have Mari, who's voiced by Tia Ballard, and Tia Ballard's voice is really high. Like, watch the episode commentaries or anything else, and yeah, you'll see that she has a very high voice, and so it's actually really amazing and impressive that she was able to lower her voice that much and then act so well on top of that. So that was really good. Another voice, you know, you got Charles Campbell, who voices the chairman. He does that, like, because he does this thing where he enunciates the last, like, word in a sentence. Not all the time, but when he does it so naturally, and it's just like, I couldn't do it. It's just like, works so well, and like it's just funny, you know. Some other characters, I mean, you've got Colleen Klinkenbeard as Anzu, Kristen McGuire as Chio. She does a good job as Chio. And I mean, you got Clifford Chapin. He voices Bakugo in My Hero Academia, but he voices Shingo here. Does a good job. Sonny Strait as Andre. Does a good job. I love how he has a high-pitched voice with a normal Andre voice to like contrast the big head but small face. But then during a serious moment, he'll like switch to his regular voice, and it just plays off really well for the effect. But yeah, enough of the praise, because if you've watched the show or you know about the show, you probably know about the controversy around it. So I'll just talk about that for a sec, because it is a negative. And that is, when this show was simulcasting, when it came out, they were dubbing it, you know, a bit delayed after the Japanese. And yeah, a joke was added in episode 7, and the joke made reference to the Gamergate situation that was going on around the same time. And yeah, I don't agree with that. It shouldn't have been added in. But on the physical release and on Funimation's website, if you on the Funimation Now streaming service, if you click Uncut version, it's not in there. They took it out. And yeah, I just want to bring that up because because there's one line of dialogue, you know, less than 10 seconds. That doesn't mean the entire script of the dub. That doesn't mean the entire dub is bad. You know, like, because there's all these good performances in the dub, and it's just so funny. So yeah, I don't want to, like, you know, because I wouldn't be fair to. Now, granted, you have a good point if you're saying this. If people didn't complain about the reference to Gamergate situation and the joke, they wouldn't have taken it out. So yeah, you're right. But yeah, I just want to say, you know, don't hate on the entire dub, just hate on that line. So yeah, but yeah, that's you know, all the positives. Some negatives I have to say, and this is depending on who you are, because it's comedy and humor based, but there's the jokes. And yeah, there's some repeated jokes in the show which can get old depending on who you are. So there's two types of ones. There's the violence-based ones and the sexual-based ones. The sexual-based ones are mainly, not all the time, but mainly around Mako, the vice president, and her exaggerated design, like her, you know, the way she's dressed and her short skirt and the extreme close-ups and camera angles. And, you know, even me, who I get a laugh out of it, there's some times where, like, I see a scene or like a shot and I'm just like, did it have to be like that? Like, you know, yeah, I think you've done it a bit too much, or in this episode, if not at all. Yeah, you could have held back there. And yeah, like, so there's that, and you got the violence-based jokes, which are just like, basically when the underground student council sees the boys doing something wrong, or what they think is wrong, or misbehaving or something, they'll just, you know, beat into them violently. And, you know, you can decide for yourself whether that's even considered a joke or not. You could say, you know, physical violence shouldn't be, you know, like, treated that way or anything like that. But yeah, I just want to bring that up as like a negative, because for me, if the story wasn't as good as it was, these jokes would end up making the show pretty forgettable. And yeah, like, all of these jokes are backed up for me by the story, is what I'm trying to say. And if you're not into the jokes, then you won't enjoy the shows, because they're just tied together so much. So yeah, there's no middle ground with the show. You either like it or you don't. That's how it is, yeah. But yeah, that's about it for the review. Yeah, what did you think? You know, did you like the review? If you have seen A Prison School, have you seen it? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you didn't like the review, yeah, let me know how I can improve in the comments down below as well, yeah. So anyways, yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you want to see more videos like this, then yeah, definitely subscribe. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you again. See you later.